So you see, we begin with sphere 6. Okay? So it's sphere 6, it's beauty, balance, and harmony. Right? That's the state you want to practice living in all day, no matter what. Credit card canceled. I want to be able to go back. I want you to go back to that situation, to that moment when your credit card didn't work at the store. But I want you to reimagine it. I want you to imagine yourself handling it with perfect peace and poise. Just try to see that in your mind and try to feel that as if that's the memory of the experience. You're changing the memory of your experience. Just see yourself handling that with perfect peace and poise in a beautiful, balanced, harmonious state. That there's no internal constriction, there's no internal reaction. Right? You see yourself in that situation. Now, when you're in that state of beauty and harmony, in any given instance, and you got there once you settle down, right? What happens? You see the path from sphere 2 to 6, right? And you see the path from sphere 3 to 6. So that means when you're in balance and harmony, you're able to be guided by wisdom, and you're able to have clear and true understanding, right? So let's say you're talking to someone in your beautiful balanced state. The wisdom comes in to guide you what to say. The understanding comes in so you have a sense of who that person is and how they might react to something that you might say. Like there are certain people, if you start talking about politics, they go insane, right? So if you understand that person, like understanding a machine or an animal, right? You're not going to walk into the cage where the lion is, right? Because you understand how a lion functions, right? So you're going to put a cage around the lion. She's going to stay outside. And so when you're in that beautiful, balanced, harmonious state, wisdom can guide you, understanding can illuminate you, and you can get connected at the deepest level to divine will, to what you're truly meant to do, what feels truly right to do. You're able to surrender your forces to the guidance of true divine will in that given situation. Right? Now, as you do that, as you practice that, you also start to awaken on a feeling level, on an energy level, because that's below. See, the first 3, that's the supernals, that's the mind of God. Then we go down to 4 and 5, that's the feeling. So 4 is, how much, let's say somebody's on the street and they want some money from you, right? A homeless person. Okay, so 4 says, I'll give him a couple of dollars. 5 says, yeah, but don't give him $6. Don't give him $10. Only give this much. So there's a balance. How much force should I use, right? How easy should I take it? How much discipline should I use? And from a balanced, harmonious state, you can measure that. How hard should I work? How easy should I work? Now, when you apply those principles, when you allow those guidelines in sphere 6, from sphere 6, it always goes down to victory. Your victories build up, your glory builds up. And what glory is you're recognized. People recognize your higher level. They respond to it. They value it. And if you practice that consistently, that's sphere 9, the foundation, stability. As you practice that consistently, it gives birth to the kingdom of heaven, to the world, the physical world you want to live in. Just like it takes 9 months to make a baby, it takes 9 spheres to make a world. That's the tree of life wisdom. I went years alone, loving every minute of it. Because all I was doing was focusing on the vibration. I didn't have to coordinate with anyone. And that prepared me to be able to be in a relationship with someone without invading their space. And so if you do find a partner, and that partner is cognizant and aware and supportive of your vibration, of your true path, you don't have to spend time alone. Because you're alone even when you're with that person, you're still able to find your way. But there are family members who want to take you off your true path to accommodate them because they have no cognizance, no understanding of anything that I'm talking about right now. And there's some grief when you have to accept that for a while. There comes a point when you don't care. It's just fun. But when you just have to accept the fact that they're not able to recognize what you're really here doing, working on, trying to accomplish, what's guiding you. And the further you go in this, the more you need to go in it, because veering off even just a little bit from your true vibration, it's very obvious, you start experiencing a lot of disturbance. It's very obvious. Maybe a year ago, you could have rushed a little while and pushed a little bit and felt kind of normal. But now, after all this time of us working together, you start pushing and rushing, you're going to feel it. Or when you're feeling fatigue, don't push past fatigue. Right? When you push past fatigue, again, you're separating yourself from the higher ordering forces. So practice the true self meditation. One of the ways that I practiced it for years in the beginning was every morning I would wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning deliberately, and I created a circle. I got a piece of canvas, like painters who go to like a store where painters go, where they get canvas to paint on, right? And I got a big piece of canvas, and I painted a beautiful circle on my canvas. I still have it, but I have it in a secret place. It's my magic circle. Just like what Lisa has above her head. I don't know if it's above your head actually, but from this angle, you have a halo, right? A beautiful halo. Yeah, you deserve it, right? So I painted the circle, and every morning I would stand in the circle, and the circle was like card 7 in the Tarot, rejecting external influences. Inside the circle, purity. Outside the circle, everything that's trying to interfere with my consciousness and trying to guide me or lead me, because there's so many people wanting you to think a certain way and feel a certain way and do things. Every desire of everybody in your life, they have desires for you, and you're picking up on them all the time. And they're pulling you just a little bit. And the more you practice tuning in to your true self, to your higher self, the more invulnerable you are to those vibrations coming in. So I would stand in that circle, and I would connect to my true self just the way you did, to try to experience a oneness with my true vibration. And then, boom, it dawns, it blossoms, and you almost can't leave it for anything. And that's a beautiful thing, because it means that no matter what you're facing, you can't lose your peace and poise. You can't lose your inner harmony, because that's the harmonious path. That's the path to health. That's the path to wealth. That's the path of grace or miracles. That's the path of all kinds of magical things happening in your life. And that's a magical process. It's a magical ritual, standing in the center of your circle, connecting with your true vibration. And then when you step out of the circle, you try to carry it with you, fold it up, put it someplace nice, and it's only yours. You can share it, with a very special person who's on the path. But you're very careful with who you show it to, who touches. You don't want their vibrations on it. You want to keep it pure. So you're in what's called the individualizing process. So remind yourself, get into the energy level, right? Remind yourself that when you're looking at an object that appears to be solid, like old wand. And of course, when you step in your circle, you can have a wand with you. Remember the wand in the magician's table? That represents will. Remember the eagle in card 10, right? That represents will. The 4 rules of magic: to know, to will, to dare, to be silent. We're getting deeper and deeper into that in this advanced course, right? So you hold your wand when you go into that circle. Your wand represents your will, divine will. Everybody just pick up either a pen or a wand or a stick and hold it up when you have it in your hand. So I see it. Okay, Gru, Lisa, Patty, Courtney. So, okay, everybody hold it in the middle. Hold it in the middle. Close your eyes. Feel your intention. Try to feel your deepest intention. In Kabbalah, it's called kether. Connect with the deepest intention for your life. Try to feel it. And now feel your intention to be one with your true self, with your true being. Get into your vibration. Find it. Your true path. Isn't that a nice alignment exercise? So, if you want to do it daily, that's fine. You could do it several times a day, as much as you want. So let me give you a little sense of your true self. And I know I work with some of you individually, but everything we talk about bears repeating. So we're talking about what's called the tripartite state, the tripartite self. Tripartite being 3 parts. So in the earliest stages of consciousness, you're identified with your physical body. I remember one time sitting in a barber shop, and there was a little boy getting a haircut next to me with his mom, and when they cut off his hair and it fell on the floor, he started to cry because he thought he was losing a part of himself. He was so identified with his body, right? And that's one of the reasons why you'll find sometimes little children resist having their nails clipped, because they're so identified with their physical body. And you also went through that phase, just like I did, where you thought you were your body. That's no different than thinking you're your dog. Because your body is just, or your car, because your body is just your vehicle. And your body is a configuration of dynamic energy units. It's not solid. It's constantly changing. You look in the mirror today, and you see a vast change from 30 years ago, or 40 years ago. A vast change, but it's not like it just happened. You've been moving, and your body's been moving in this direction every single instant. Your body's in constant change, constant motion. You're not your body. You take care of your body, you love your body, but you're not your body. So, how can you use language to help you there? Avoid saying I'm sick. No, the physical body is sick. I have a cough. No, the physical body has a cough. I'm bleeding. No, the physical body's bleeding. Now, this may seem like it's just so, piffle, just so innocuous, so superficial to say, to carefully use my language like this. But your subconscious believes everything you tell it. This is why we're very careful to avoid saying things like, that's a stressful situation. It's not a stressful situation. If I'm experiencing stress,
right? I'm reacting with stress. And if I realize, oh, that person drives me crazy. No, you're driving yourself crazy in your relationship with that person. Now, once you get that, you can start to change. You're not a helpless victim. You get it. Okay, I'm driving myself crazy, or I'm pushing too hard. I'm in overwhelm. I'm in overdrive. I'm trying to control too much. I'm freaking out. But that's all. I can change that. I can adjust how I respond to anything. Because once somebody's driving you crazy, you've lost your ray. You've lost the vibration. You're functioning at too low a vibration to register the final vibration of your true self. So you're not your body. You're also not your personality. So let's do what Einstein used to call thought experiments. So I want you to imagine that all of a sudden you're taken to another planet. And of course, you miss your loved ones, you miss your stuff, you miss your home, You have this identity of who you are and what you do, and you can't do it there anymore. It's a totally different civilization, totally different society. People there are walking around with eggplant on their head, and dancing naked every Sunday, And the way they say, I love you, is they throw a tomato at your face. Totally different culture. And in the beginning, you're really upset about it. You're feeling out of place. None of this works for me. They're throwing tomatoes. I feel like they're hating me, not loving me. I miss my bed. I miss my this. Okay, 100 years pass. You're on this other planet, and you've been adopted by this other family. And they all have 6 eyes. And they're green and they're purple, and they look like vomit. And it's disgusting. But over time, as you're there, you start to find that there's some nice vomit. It just kind of looks nice. It's a pretty vomit thing. And you realize that they weren't all just ugly vomit. That there's some beautiful vomit there. And now another 100 years pass. You're there for 200 years, completely involved in this culture. I'll bet you don't even remember what your name was here, because your name there was Hangadukachi. And you only answered to Hangadukachi. And you won't even remember what your name was. And you won't remember who your parents were on this planet. You won't even remember your children. You won't even remember that you had children, or that you didn't have children. Gradually, this entire life will fade from your consciousness. And you'll be completely absorbed and adapted to the new world that you found yourself in, with a new family and different values, and you dress differently, and because you're eating differently, your body becomes different. That's reincarnation. That's why you don't remember your past lives. It was too long ago. Too much water under the bridge. Your personality doesn't reincarnate. You're not your body, and you're not your personality, because your personality changes. But throughout your life, you have had a subtle sense of I am. In Kabbalah, it's called Eheyeh, I am that I am. You have had a subtle sense from the time you can remember of being you, the essential self that you are. That's your true self, not your personality, not your likes and dislikes, not your moods. That sense of true self, that's who you really are. And when you tune into that self, you start to lose your identification with the personality. And it's like you're born again. And you experience what's called regeneration, which is represented by card 19 in the Tarot. The sun, the 2 naked children shamelessly dancing, naked, joyful, no shame. just pure innocence and joy and beauty. That's your true self. It's not your personality. So you don't make a big deal about your likes and dislikes. You get what you like? Fine. You get what you don't like? Fine. Somebody tells you you're wonderful? Great. Somebody tells you you're terrible? Great. You bought a nice new white sofa, right? And somebody spills grape juice on it? Fine. You're not all hung up on your personal values. You're not hung up on any of that stuff. You're following the vibration of your true self. You don't want to lose yourself. So you're not your body, you're not your personality. You are your true being. You are a true being. And you can feel the vibration of being, of your true being, by meditating on that vibration and going into the circle to discover who you truly are, so you live a life that's true for you. I may have shared this story with you before. I remember driving with Isidore, my teacher, when he was ill toward the end of his incarnation. And he said to me, you know, Bobby, I could have been a successful musician. He tested at the level of a Benny Goodman. I could have been a mathematical physicist. I could have gone into the corporate world. I could have gone to Wall Street. But I did what I wanted to do. I did what I wanted to do. And I got away with it. And I can tell you the same exact thing. I got away with it. My whole life, from the age of 25, that's 5 years. That's a joke. I'm not 30. From the age of 25, right? I've done what I wanted to do. And I got away with it. And you're not afraid of money, and you're not afraid of people's opinions, and you're not afraid to lose your friends, and you're not afraid to lose your family, because you just don't want to lose yourself. Your true self. The true being that you are. All right, let's take a pause and do some rhythmic alternation. Anybody have anything they'd like to share? Any comments, any questions before I volunteer you? Okay. So Sonia's going to be leaving us for right now. I understand that. It's good that she was able to tune in rather than counting on getting the recording. So anybody else have anything they want to share? Any questions, any comments? How is this going for you, Lisa? What are you getting from this class so far? And
It's going awesome. So today I happened to listen to the Universal Principles recording, number 3 class. And that's when you taught the feeling exercise. And so I spent, and then you and I, last time we spoke, we had a feeling exercise for me to do. I just feel like that's just clearly what I need to do right now, is a lot of this feeling exercise. But one of the things I've started like really feeling is how I can easily waste my energy on paying attention to what other people are doing, or, you know, getting upset with what somebody's doing, or thinking, oh, they shouldn't be doing that. And like, it's a lot of energy that you get back when you stop, when you just say, whatever, you just do what you have to do. I really want to focus on what I'm feeling right now. I'm going back to my feeling exercise again. And that seems to be like, you know, what the message for me right now is stop paying attention outside, start even more, just do the feeling exercise all day. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. That's what I'm thinking is, it's trying to tell me. So I love it. I love it. It's like just, it's like always, it's always exactly what I need to hear.
Okay. And Courtney, how is this sitting with you today?
Oh, it's great. I have some very applicable situations in my life that I can apply all of these methods to. So
Good.
thank you.
Okay. All right. So what I want to do at this point is everybody on this call here, you all have tarot cards. Is that correct? Is anybody who doesn't have tarot cards? Okay. So you all have tarot cards, right? Do you all have them handy? Because we're going to be doing a particular kind of meditation, tarot meditation. If I can find the card. Let me,
Can you give me a minute to go get mine?
Yep, take your time. See if we have this in order. Okay, must be in here. But what we're going to be doing now is this is going to be a tarot meditation for victory, because we're going to be using 7. It's called the Wisdom of 7. Let me just get everything in order. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. So what we're going to begin with is take out keys 1, 8, and 15. 1, 8, and 15. 1, 8, and 15. And I like going from, you can either go up and down from 1, 8, 15, or I like going from right to left, which is how we read the Hebrew language. So it could be number 1, number 8, number 15. And if you look mathematically at these 3 cards, you see that 8 is in the middle. Between 1 and 15, the number 8 is right in the midpoint. Between number 1 and 15 is 7 and then 7. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. So this is the wisdom of 7. And we go from the bottom up to see the evolutionary process. And so what we're doing is we're meditating on your evolutionary process, which will further the process. Your subconscious is going to get hold of this, and you're going to be going through the transformation that's being represented by the cards. So we start out at the lowest level of consciousness in card 15, which is bondage. So what are we in bondage to in card 15? We're in bondage to our automatic thoughts, our automatic emotional patterns, our belief that something outside of us has power over us. That's bondage. Right? Now, how do we move beyond bondage? We go to card 8. So in card 8, all you have to do in daily living is tame the beast. Notice the automatic reaction patterns, calm them, bring gentility into your responses. Instead of getting uptight and upset, calm the beast. As you calm the beast, you awaken to the magician. You can concentrate on what it is you're really meant to do. See the story? See how it works? Card 15, bondage to automatic reaction patterns, automatic thoughts, automatic beliefs, all the ways we've been programmed. How do we get free of the programming? Calm your responses, calm the beast. Don't get so voracious. Don't get so aggressive, right? Bring calm. And as a result, you can awaken to the guidance of your true self. You can concentrate on your true will, on what you really want to manifest in this life. Okay. Now, I suggest putting those cards back in the deck so that it's easy to get to the next thing. And we're going to look at 2, 9, and 16. Take out 2, 9, and 16. Back. And then I find number 2. 2. 9. And 16. Okay. So we start out with 16, right? So after you find the vibration of your true self, which is what, when you look at the magician, when you look at that card, that's what you're tuning into. The vibration, the will of your true self, your true will, your true intention. What happens is card 16. So in card 16, what do we see here? We see people being liberated from confinement. Now they're attached to their confinement, right? Just like the people in California were attached to their home, right? They're attached to their confinement. You're attached to all your stuff. You're attached to all your things. But sooner or later, something happens and you realize, boom, you've just been thrown out of it. And you can't count on that anymore. You've been liberated against your will. You've been set free from all the things that you were holding secure, that you thought were giving you security. So when you find yourself surprised, dislodged from your expectations, it's not going the way I thought it was going to go. It's not going the way I wanted it to go. When you're feeling that sense of exposure and vulnerability, and you're just out there, you realize you're just in space, you don't have anything to hold on to. Then you go to key 9. And key 9 is a version of key 1. It's the feeling of unity with your true self. Your true self is holding the lantern. And the light that he's shining goes down the mountain because he's at the peak of the mountain. That's your higher self. That's your true being. And he's always shedding a light to show you internally what is your path in any given situation. So you could be completely disoriented, completely dislodged. You find yourself in another planet, another world, and all you have to do is just tune in, feel a sense of union with your true being. And as a result of feeling your union with your true being, you move into card 2. And card 2 is the infinite subconscious, the infinite mind. What do you want to do with that mind? You can know anything you want with that mind. How do you want your life to go? Open up to receive that knowing from within your subconscious. How do you want things to be? What is the life you want to be in? When you ask the high priestess a question, she's going to give you the answer. And so that's how you reorient from being lost to being found. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next set of 7s is 3, 10, and 17. So first we put these back. It's nice to have order. And then we move forward. So we have 3, then we have 10, and we have 17. Okay. So we start with 17. We go into meditation. Meditation for clarification. So just to be clear, just meditate for a couple of moments on clarity. Just try to clear your consciousness for true knowing, for true guidance. Clear your consciousness. Now, from that state of clarity, we then move into key 10, the Wheel of Fortune. The cyclic nature of events, how things actually work. So you bring in clarity into how things work, watching how things work, seeing the mechanics of the universe. Just watching, learning, seeing how things work. And then you go from seeing how things work into the Empress. Let me just put this on mute for a second. The creative imagination. And the creative imagination is shielded. The shield she holds in her hand is a symbol of Venus, which means the only thing you want to imagine is beautiful things. Open your imagination now. What would a beautiful life look like for you? What would a beautiful world look like for you? A truly beautiful life. Open your imagination to receive a feeling and a vision of beauty in your relationships. Choose specific relationships in your life and imagine them being beautiful. Choose one of the most difficult relationships in your life and imagine it being beautiful. Okay, now we move on and we go to, let me just fix this here. We go to key 4, 11, and 18. Three, 4. 10, 16, 17. Okay, so we're going to do 4, 11, and 18. So we have the Emperor, and we have Justice, and we have the Moon. So we start out at the Moon. And remember, the Moon card represents the physical transformation that takes place in the spiritual growth process. So your physical body, we've covered this in previous classes, your physical body, as you practice what we're doing here, as you practice these meditations and everything else, your physical body is going through a transformation. It's becoming a receptacle for higher vibrations. For your vibration of your true self to fully enter your consciousness, your physical body has to be aligned with that. So this is the transformation of the physical body. When you sleep, when you rest, when you meditate, you're allowing your body to transform into an instrument to receive higher vibrations, to function more consciously. As a result of that, you move into key 11, which is the ability to use right judgment in any given situation. you can tell what it is you need to do. You can stay balanced, and you have the sword that is ready to lop off any unbalanced choices that you might make. The ability to choose an action based on the reaction that's going to come from that choice. Card 11 gives you the power, as you meditate on it, it gives you the power to recognize what's going to happen if I choose this thing. Where is it taking me? What is the karma of any given choice that I make? So that I make choices that keep me aligned with what? Key 4. And what does key 4 represent? The Emperor, order, a life that's working in an orderly way, an orderly process. Your bills are paid, you're healthy, you're happy, you have lovely relationships, right? Things are not chaotic. They're orderly, they're predictable, they're regular, and they're beautiful. So we go from the transformation of the physical body into the ability to exercise right judgment in order to create order in our lives. Whatever vision you have for your life, whatever you want for your life, that is an order. That's an orderly life that you're what feels orderly to you. Okay, then we go to the next set, which is 5, 12, and 19. Let's do 5, 12, and 19. Powerful. The Hanged Man and the Sun. So we start out and see there's 7 between. So 5 plus 7 is 12, 12 plus 7 is 19. This is the wisdom of 7 in Tarot meditation. So we start with key 19. So we're already on a higher rung now. We're not going into those lower vibrations anymore. We're at a higher rung where you're dancing in the light of your true self. You're just being your pure, true, innocent self. Try to feel that now. Just being yourself, being authentic, being connected to your true vibe. That's the sun represents the true self because the sun doesn't change. The moon changes. The moon represents the psychic self, the personality. It changes based on its environment. So from you just being, allowing yourself to be your true self in any given situation, living in a harmonious vibration of your true self, a reversal takes place, represented by key 12. And what happens is you're no longer relying on personal effort. You're counting on the universe. You have true faith. Whatever you can't handle, you let the universe handle. You know, you can, they're talking about what they're going to do in this country and that country. Let the universe handle all that. You have enough to take care of in your own individual direct life experience. So the reversal is no longer feeling like I have to be in control of everything. I trust the universe to control everything perfectly. I'll take control where I can, but I realize that my level of control is minimal. When you're driving your car, yeah, maybe you can control the steering wheel, the brake, and the gas, but there's 1,000 other drivers on the road. You have to trust the universe to some degree. You can't control everybody. So we go from dancing through life as your true self, staying in that harmonious place, relying on the universe, trusting the master of the universe, the masterpiece. The universe is a masterpiece, trusting that God is a master of masterpieces. And what that gives birth to, as you trust the universe, is it will give birth to your inner voice of intuition. That sometimes will come as a voice, sometimes it'll come as silent words, sometimes it'll just come as a feeling and a knowing. But from trusting the universe, being in that basic state of faith, you're then guided intuitively by the universe. You hear its sacred voice. Now let's go to 6, 13, and 20. Or 6, 13, and 20. So once again, we have 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 plus 7 is 20. The wisdom of 7. So we start out here in judgment on key 20, which is awakening to the frequency world, awakening to the energy world, that you are always being presented with guidance, leading you upon the golden path, leading you to the heights. You've been liberated from identification with the physical world. And you're now awakening to higher vibrations, inner worlds guiding you. As you follow that inner guidance, you go through transition. Card 13, called the death card, is really the birth card. Because the first thing that forms in the new life is the skeleton. And what you're looking at in the skeleton is you're looking at the beginning. And it's up to you to flesh out the beginning. It's called the imaginative intelligence. Whenever you're going through a change, so somebody's in California and their house is gone. So, okay, this is the beginning. Let's start building. Where do we want to go from here? I don't have to get upset. I don't have to get sad. I don't have to go into grief. That was all based on attachments, right? And it's attachment to something that I never could know I could rely upon. So I have to go through the method to free myself of grief, to let it all go, and then to consider, what is it I want to begin now? Because life is never ending. And it goes from an ending to a beginning. So card 13 represents the beginning, the building of the new life you want to be in. And as you build that new life that you want to be in, what guides you in the building of the new life? That's represented by card 6, the lovers. So what guides you in your daily consciousness is very simple. The man represents awareness. Be aware in the present moment. The woman represents your subconscious, and she's looking up at the higher self. Your subconscious attunement to higher guidance in every given situation. You're not just going up into higher guidance. You're aware of where you are, and you're tuning into higher guidance to lead you along the path of beauty. Why do we say the path of beauty? Because card 6 in Tarot corresponds with sphere 6 in the Kabbalah tree of life, which is beauty. So that's what she's tuning into. That's what the subconscious is tuning into, the path of beauty, guiding me in my new life and what I want to create from here. Then let's go to the last three cards. And that is 7, 14, and 21. 7, 14, and 21. And we start, because this is going from the bottom up, we start with 21. 21 represents mastery. So there's 2 spirals in her hands, the positive force, negative force, meaning outgoing and incoming, being balanced. She's dancing. So life is a dance. You don't take anything too seriously. You enjoy each moment. Whether you press the record button, you don't press the record button, who really cares? You want to be in a good vibration, right? A harmonious vibration, that's mastery, right? Mastery is the ability to step in dog poop in the middle of the night and not care, which happens around here, right? It's just a practice, that's all. So mastery then brings upon us, because everybody's at a certain level of mastery. Mastery brings upon us temperance, the tests and challenges of life, bringing that balance and harmony into every single situation that happens. That's how you strengthen it. I say you develop your mastery by bringing mastery into those situations. Like you have a friend, and then you find out the friend was lying to you about something. All right, bring it into that situation. And what happens from that mastery brought into the situation as you go through your tests and challenges, applying what you're learning here in the context of tests and challenges, you become the chariot. The chariot is being still and ready and waiting in any situation, non-reactive, ready to be guided. That's why you see the sphinxes. They represent, the black one is being against stuff, dislike, the white one is being for stuff. And they're both at rest. There's no reacting. The moons on his shoulder pads mean he's mastered his moods. Always remember that your moods manifest. If you're in a glum mood, you're manifesting glum circumstances. Practice staying balanced, because if you get too up, then you're going to have to go too down. So by practicing mastery in the circumstances of your life, as we've described it here, maintaining that harmony for higher faculties, then in any situation, you're not automatically reacting to anything. You're not being driven by the influences coming at you of how other people want you to be. You're able to stay steady and aware, ready to be guided by the universe, that's the stars in its canopy, of how to proceed. That's the wisdom of 7. For a magical, miraculous life that satisfies your heart's desire. And that's our closing meditation.
I'm so glad that got recorded.
We have that. We have that recorded. So we have a nice 30-minute tarot meditation for magic and miracles. And I'll be sending you the notes that cover everything we've covered today. And for those of you who are just on the recording, we apologize that, and, we don't hold Gru completely responsible for not telling me sooner, but we thank Gru for letting us know so that we could record it. And anytime anybody notices that I didn't press the record button, please, because I get so wrapped up in what I'm talking about. So our next class is going to be in a month. It's going to go further. And I hope to see all of you for all 10 classes. We're going to be doing 10 monthly classes this year. At this point, I'm going to keep it at the last Tuesday of each month. I was going to change it, but it just feels too complicated to do that. And I'll look forward to seeing you all next month. Enjoy each moment.
Thank you,
Okay.
Bob.
Thank you. Now I'm going to stop the recording.